Assalamu alaikum my dear students. Welcome in online biology class. Hope you all are fine and safe at home. So as we have studied already about the new chapter, I hope you are revising the content at home. You know that we have started the chapter plant water relation, and this chapter plant water relation, here today we are dealing with the fourth lecture of this chapter. In last lecture, I have gave you a brief explanation about plasmolysis, then the different paths of water across the route, that how water is transporting. Then we have seen the mechanism of absorption of water. Then in that we have seen about the passive absorption and active absorption, and to some extent I gave you the introduction about the translocation of water. Now in this translocation of water, today I am going to show you a video based on the translocation of water. When you will go through this video, you will came to know that how exactly the translocation of water will going to take place in water. So we will correlate this with the actual phenomena that is going on in water. So let's talk about transportation in water in plants. So we know that it is exactly like how human beings are doing, like blood, how it is transporting. Now we know that already we have discussed that plants prepare their own food using simple compound inorganic sources such as carbon dioxide, water, along with some raw materials, and photosynthesize energy in the presence of sunlight and stored in the chlorophyll of leaves. The plants require raw materials like soil, nitrogen, phosphorus and other minerals to build their bodies. The plants absorb raw materials from soil with the help of roots which are in contact with the soil. If distance between soil, root and chlorophyll is small, energy needed is less and raw materials can easily diffuses into all parts of the plant body. If distance between soil, root and chlorophyll is large, it needs much energy and raw materials cannot diffuse easily. In such case, a proper system of transportation is essential for tall trees especially. Now, the energy requirement for transportation also varies according to plant structure. As plants do not move and plant bodies have large dead cells in many tissue, as a result, plants have low energy needs and use slow transport system. So that transport system will be slow definitely. In case of tall plants, distance over transport system is also large. Why do plants need a transport system? The question may arise in our mind. Plants need water, minerals, salt and raw materials for photosynthesis in order to survive. The water and mineral salts from soil is transported into plants through its root. These can only be transported through the water carrying tubes in the stem, also known as xylem. Now, the product of photosynthesis prepared in the leaves are to be transported to other parts of the plant also. So, this can only be transported by the food carrying tubes, that is also known as phloem. Now, how transport of water take place? Through xylem. In xylem, tissues, vessels and tracheids are two types of transport tissue in plants. Both vessels and tracheids consist of thick celled walls, and these thick celled wall is only the functional member, I can say. Tracheids are single celled, shorter in length, whereas vessels are several celled and much longer than tracheids. In xylem, vessels and tracheids of roots, stem and leaves are interconnected to facilitate continuous water conduction system to all parts of the plant. The water transports upward against force of gravity with the help of xylem vessels. the movement of water upwards, plants have two type of strategies. So those strategies are absorption of water. First we will see. First one, as the xylem vessels or cells of roots are in contact with soil, it actively absorb the water ion, जिसको हम लोगों ने active absorption में पढ़ा है. When roots is in contact with the soil, soil has more concentration of water and root has less concentration. Obviously a differentiation in concentration of ions is present in between the root as well as in the soil. So this may also results in differentiation. So to balance the difference in water ions between roots and soil, water moves into root, which means a steadily or continuous movement of water into xylem of roots, which creates column of water that is steadily pushing towards the upside or upward. In xylem, the flow of water is bulk flow and negative pressure facilitates movement of water and minerals into the roots. So how the transpiration of water will take place? Transpiration is nothing but evaporation of water molecules from stomata of leaves into atmosphere. Stomata are the guard cells, you are aware about it. Now in transpiration there will be a the loss of water in the form of vapor from the aerial parts of the plant is known as transpiration. The loss of water molecules or evaporation of water molecule through leaves create a suction or a root pressure that pulls water upwards through xylem cells of root. That suction I've already spoke about. Thus the losses of water through stomata of leaves are replaced by suction of water through xylem vessels in the leaf, and this is the only suction pressure that will get created. It also helps in the temperature regulation. So during day, transpiration helps in conduction of water through xylem vessels and maintain balance of ions between roots and soil. During nights, root pressure occurs due to difference in concentration of active ions between roots and soil that helps in conduction of water. So hope you might have understood that how translocation of water is going to take place in the plant. Now certain theories are based on such a translocation of water. So just have a look on these theory. Among that, the very first theory is root pressure theory. According to this theory, the activity of living cells of root is responsible for translocation of water. J. Priestley proposed this theory. When watered plant is cut near base, xylem sap flow out at end with a pressure. Mainly observed in herbaceous plant, water oozes out due to bleeding. This is due to hydrostatic pressure inside a root. A root pressure, that is also called as root pressure, appears due to osmotic pressure. Now if root is supplied with isotonic or hypertonic solution, root pressure will disappear. As water absorption by roots is constant and continuous process, a hydrostatic pressure is developed in the living cells of cortex of root. This is termed as root pressure by S. Hales. It is due to root pressure, water along with dissolved minerals is not only forced into xylem, but it is also conducted upwards against the gravity. Root pressure seems to be largely an osmotic phenomena, and its development is an active process. The value of root pressure is +1 to +2 bars, which is enough to pump water to a height of 10 to 20 meters. The factors like oxygen, moisture, temperature of soil, salt content, etc. influences the pressure of a root. Let's have a look on the objections or limitations of this theory. Although the ascent of sap take place due to root pressure, there are certain objections raised. हर एक theory में कुछ ना कुछ limitations होती हैं. So the very first one is it is not applicable to plants taller than 20 meters because वहाँ पे जो है वो ज़्यादा height होने की वजह से ये apply नहीं होगा. Second, ascent of sap can also occur even in the absence of a root system. Third one, root pressure value is almost nearly zero in taller gymnosperm trees. In actively transpiring plants, no root pressure is developed. Next one, xylem sap normal condition is under tension, that is it shows negative hydrostatic pressure, or we can say the high osmotic pressure. So these are the certain limitations we can say. Because of this theory will not get approved or accepted, we can say. So we can sum up this theory as the root pressure is not the sole mechanism explaining the we can say ascent of sap in all plants of varying heights. So as compared to the different heights, ये सबके ऊपर applicable नहीं होता. Now let's move further. The next theory based on ascent of sap is capillary theory, or it is also called as physical force theory. According to this theory, physical forces and dead cells are responsible for ascent of sap. This theory was put forth by Boehm in the year 1863. Now he performed certain experiment. as scientist अपने theory को verify करने के लिए experiments conduct करते हैं. तो he took one oil lamp. He had conducted the experiment based on the oil lamp. So wick dipped in an oil lamp shows capillary, due to which oil is raised upward. So here in this way he showed that as soon as we dip the capillary into the oil, the level of the oil inside the capillary will raised up. तो उसको उसने जो है वो कैपिलरी एक्शन से रिलेट करने की कोशिश किया कि जिस तरीके से लैम्प में वाटर ऑयल का कंटेंट लेवल बढ़ गया, उसी तरीके के प्लांट में भी होता है. हम लोग इसको वाटर में भी बहुत ईजीली हम लोग देख सकते हैं दैट वी कैन टेक अ कैपिलरी एंड इफ़ वी विल डिप इट इनटू द वाटर, तो वाटर का जो लेवल है उसके से ज़्यादा लेवल जो है वो कैपिलरी में हमको नज़र आता है. तो इस तरीके से जो है हम लोग ये इसमें बता सकते हैं कि यहाँ पे कैपिलरी एक्शन होता है. जबकि सेम वे में अगर मर्क्यूरी में देखेंगे तो उसका लेवल जो है वो कम हो जाता है बिकॉज ऑफ द विस्कोसिटी, क्योंकि उसकी थोड़ी थिकनेस या डेंसिटी उसकी ज़्यादा होती है. तो वी कैन से कैपिलैरिटी इज़ बिकॉज ऑफ द सरफेस टेंशन. Why? Because the conduction of water in a straw dipped in water is raised to certain height because of capillarity, and that is the reason the height to which water is raised depend on the diameter of the straw. ये diameter के ऊपर भी बहुत ज़्यादा depend करता है. So we may correlate same with plant, that in plant capillarity is because of the surface tension and forces of cohesion, that is attraction between the like molecule, and adhesion, that is the attraction between unlike molecules. So in plant xylem vessels tracheids with its lumen is comparable with a straw. Now water column exists because of combined cohesive and adhesive forces of water and xylem wall. So due to capillarity यही सब कुछ जो है वो प्रोसेस होता है, and it is because of capillarity water is raised or conducted upwards against the gravity to few centimeters only. तो इसी तरीके से कैपिलरी एक्शन की वजह से और वी कैन से फिजिकल फोर्स की वजह से वहाँ पे वाटर का ट्रांसपोर्टेशन जो है वो पॉसिबल हो पाता है, और सर्टन हाइट तक सेंटीमीटर्स तक, फ्यू सेंटीमीटर्स तक ही जो है वो ग्रेविटी के अगेंस्ट में चूँकि उसको जाना होता है, इसीलिए सर्टन सेंटीमीटर्स और फ्यू सेंटीमीटर्स ओनली इट कैन ट्रैवल बिकॉज इट हैज़ टू ट्रैवल अगेंस्ट द ग्रेविटी. नेक्स्ट वी विल टॉक अबाउट द लिमिटेशंस ऑफ capillary theory. So the first one, capillary tube. Here the xylem must be continuously and completely hollow from one end to the other end, but tracheids in the xylem show closed end wall because water को continue flow होना चाहिए यहाँ पे. Next one, the water end of capillary tube, that is xylem, must be in direct contact with soil water. However, there exists a barrier of root cortex between xylem and soil water. तो इस वजह से भी कंटिन्यूस फ्लो जो है वो वाटर का नहीं हो पाता. नेक्स्ट वन, नैरोवर द कैपिलरी ट्यूब ग्रेटर इज़ द हाइट टू विच वाटर कॉलम इज़ रेज्ड. तो जैसे हमने देखा था जितनी पतली कैपिलरी होगी उतना ज़्यादा उसके अंदर जो है वो वाटर का कॉलम रेज्ड हो जाता है. दस टॉलर ट्रीज शुड शो xylem वेसल्स विथ वेरी नैरो बोर, और वी कैन से उसका डायमीटर जो है वो बहुत कम होता है. हावेवर इन नेचर द टॉल ट्रीज शो xylem vessels that is having wider bore, और we can say diameter. तो जितना tall tree होगा उतना ज़्यादा उसका diameter होगा. तो इस वजह से भी जो है वो capillary action वहाँ पे create नहीं होने पाता, और because of the failure of capillary action, capillary theory जो है वहाँ पे apply नहीं हो पाती. So here also we can conclude that द होलसम मैकेनिज्म जो भी यहाँ पे है इसका एसेंट ऑफ सैप के ज़रिए जो भी एक्सप्लेन किया गया है, सो इट कैन नॉट बी द सोल मैकेनिज्म टू एक्सप्लेन एसेंट ऑफ सैप इन ऑल द प्लांट्स ऑफ वेरिंग हाइट। यहाँ पे भी हम लोग बोलेंगे कि हाइट के हिसाब से ये थियोरी उसके ऊपर अप्लाई नहीं होती। सो टिल नाउ अब तक हम लोगों ने जो दो थियोरी देखी दैट वाज नॉट वाइडली एक्सेप्टेड, बट हमको अब ऐसी थियोरी देखनी है जिसको वाइडली एक्सेप्ट किया गया है। येस, सो द नेक्स्ट थियोरी इज कोहेजन टेंशन थियोरी और इट इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एज ट्रांसपिरेशन पुल थियोरी। So this is presently widely accepted theory explaining ascent of sap in plant. So this theory was put forth by Dickson and Joly in the year 1884 1894 sorry, and this is the today we can say it is based on the two principle basically, जो दो principle यहाँ पे follow किए जाते हैं। The first one is the cohesion and adhesion and the next one is the transpiration pull। तो आपको जैसे पता है ऑलरेडी कि cohesion and adhesion क्या होता है, सेम टाइप ऑफ मॉलिक्यूल्स में जब फोर्स ऑफ अट्रैक्शन रहेगा दैट फोर्स ऑफ अट्रैक्शन इज कॉल्ड एज कोहेसिव फोर्स। एंड अगर जो है वो वाटर मॉलिक्यूल और लिग्निफाइड वॉल ऑफ ल्यूमिन या जाइलम के अंदर जो फोर्स रहेगा या वी कैन से स्ट्रॉन्ग फोर्स ऑफ अट्रैक्शन बिटवीन वाटर मॉलिक्यूल्स एंड लिग्निफाइड वॉल ऑफ ल्यूमिन ऑफ जाइलम वेसल, सो दैट इज द एडेसिव फोर्स। तो यहाँ पे जो है वो कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ कोहेसिव एंड एडेसिव फोर्स हमको नजर आता है। सो बिकॉज ऑफ दिस कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ कोहेसिव एंड एडेसिव फोर्स a continuous water column वहाँ पे डेवलप हो जाता है in the xylem, right from the root up to the tip of the topmost leaf in the plant। एंड उसके अलावा वहाँ पे एक और जो है वो ट्रांसपिरेशन पुल क्रिएट हो जाता है। सो द ट्रांसपिरेशन पुल डेवलप इन द लीफ वेसल इज ट्रांसमिटेड डाउन टू रूट एंड दस अकाउंट्स फॉर द एसेंट ऑफ सैप। तो इस तरीके से जो एक्सेस ऑफ वाटर होता है यहाँ पे जो लॉस हो जाता है इन द फॉर्म ऑफ वेपर दैट मेनली थ्रू द स्टोमाटा फाउंड ऑन लीफ। So this water loss increases the DPD of mesophyll cell and these cell withdraw water ultimately from xylem in the leaf, or in other word we can say due to continuous transpiration a gradient of suction pressure is developed right from guard cells up to the xylem in the leaf। So this will create a tension, we can say that the negative pull or transpiration pull in the xylem। तो इस तरीके से जब transpiration pull एक बार create हो जाता है तो against the concentration, against the gravity वहाँ पे जो है वो ascent of sap के लिए responsible हो जाता है and automatically एक water column वहाँ पे जो है वो form हो जाता है जिसकी वजह से automatically transpiration का process शुरू हो जाता है। Though this theory has widely accepted, but still there are certain limitations in this theory. So let's have a look on the limitations. The very first one is for transpiration pull to operate, water column should be unbroken and continuous. However, due to temperature fluctuations during day and night, gas bubbles may enter in water column breaking the continuity। तो इस वजह से जो है वो continuous column नहीं prepare हो पाता जिसकी वजह से यहाँ पे जो है वो problem आती है transpiration के लिए। Next, this mechanism assumes that tracheids are more efficient than the vessel as their ends wall support water column। However, vessels are more evolved than tracheids and are more efficient। तो इस वजह से भी ये बात जो है वो वहाँ पे proof नहीं हो पाती that who is more efficient, either tracheids or vessels। So the next one is if plant is smeared with Vaseline in order to stop transpiration, even then ascent of sap occur, then too it will be a problem। Ascent of sap also occur in deciduous plant that have shed all for their leaves। So these observation points to the fact that besides physical forces, activity of living cells seems to be necessary for lifting the water column up। इसीलिए कुछ हद तक इन limitations के होने के बावजूद we can say that the all scientists have accepted this theory that to some extent ये सारे limitations होने के बावजूद इस तरीके से आज जो है वो plants अपना ट्रांसपिरेशन का प्रोसेस कंप्लीट करते हैं। एंड फॉर द कंडक्शन ऑफ ट्रांसपिरेशन जो ट्रांसपोर्ट होता है वहाँ पे वो इस थ्योरी की वजह से भी पॉसिबल होता है बिकॉज यहाँ पे जो ट्रांसपिरेशन पुल है वो ट्रांसपिरेशन पुल और उसके अलावा कोहीजन और एडिशन के जो फैक्टर्स हैं उसकी वजह से भी यहाँ पे बहुत ज़्यादा हेल्प मिलती है फॉर द ट्रांसपिरेशन प्रोसेस। So we can say that even though many limitations are there, then too it is applicable in the plants we can say। So my dear students, hope you might have understood the theories that is helped out to understand the mechanism of absorption as well as the translocation of water. So whatever theories we have studied in this lecture today, please you go through the content and try to correlate this with textbook, because whatever I have explained that is totally based on textbook. आप लोग दूसरा रेफरेंस भी जो ऑनलाइन अवेलेबल है उसको उससे कोरिलेट कर सकते हो, बट यू प्लीज़ स्टिक टू टेक्स्ट बुक बिकॉज दैट इज़ द ओनली वी कैन से a helper to prepare for our content. So you please try to study, try to understand, and if you'll be having any doubts, so please contact me or you can message me and you can clear your doubts. So take care. Many more interesting things we have to study in this chapter. So till now, take care. Assalamu alaikum.